What's up, fellow humans? If you are a returning viewer, then hello, good to see you again. If this is your first time here, then welcome to the channel. My name is Caleb, and this place is dedicated to the documentation of our budget-friendly and slow travels around the world. Currently, I am in my apartment in Vũng Tàu, Vietnam, and if you want to know more about Vũng Tàu as a city specifically, and if it's good for you as a digital nomad, or if you want to know more about how I live in Vietnam for 600 USD a month, check out some of the last videos that we released on the channel. This video today, however, is going to be a little bit more opinion-based. I want to bring up something that I don't think is exactly talked about enough in the full-time or digital nomad community, and this is the negative impact that we have. I, as a full-time traveler for the last 4 or 5 years, realize that I'm part of the problem, so I try to keep this stuff in mind and minimize the negative impact that I have to every place that I go. Couple of things that I want to bring up. I'm going to talk about some tips on how to travel sustainably, and towards the end I'm going to mention some things that you definitely should not do and most certainly avoid. So let's get right into it. The first thing that I want to mention is travel mindset. All too commonly do I see even full-time or long-time travelers go from place to place with the mindset that they are a customer, that they are to be served by the locals in the restaurant, hotel, or apartment complex that they're staying in. We like to travel with a mindset of guests. This lets us, be more respectful and maintain a better relationship with the locals. I am lucky enough to be in this country as a guest, staying here and seeing whatever new sights and sounds and foods there are available for me to try. I feel very lucky and privileged to be able to do this. So I try to be mindful of any oddities or local customs so that I can try my best not to offend anybody, even though this is kind of inevitable as there are so many different ways of living throughout the world. But do your best to try to be aware of any local customs. Also, it's usually not only respectful, but very useful to you as a traveler, especially if you're going to stay in a country for weeks or even months, to learn some basics of the language. You're not going to be able to learn Vietnamese or Spanish within a couple of months, but knowing some of the basic phrases like hello, thank you, like where is it, how much does it cost, these are going to be pretty useful, and it'll let you connect with the locals a little bit more easily. So take your time and try to appreciate even the most humble of surroundings. Following this, I recommend to all travelers, especially full-time travelers, to incorporate as many sustainable travel practices as possible. One of the first ones to keep in mind is the literal way that you travel or move from country to country or city to city. It's really easy to get onto Uber or to Grab or something like this and hire a private car to take you to your next destination, but usually a significantly more affordable way is to take a local combi or a bus or a train, depending on which country you're in. Places like South America don't really have trains so much, but you can use a variety of joint communal, small vans or buses to get around everywhere. Places like Southeast Asia have a combination of these, and then if you go to somewhere like Europe or other Asian countries, trains are super common and really affordable. So I highly recommend using reusable items. Things like steel or reusable water bottles or reusable tote bags, especially in some countries where the grocery stores don't have plastic bags or they charge for plastic bags. I think in places like Colombia or Peru or Brazil, they either don't have plastic bags or you have to to buy them. They're cheap, but in general, they will almost always offer these reusable tote bags that will be, I don't know, like a couple bucks. These are great, and you can use them in the grocery store over and over again, or for other items, like if you're going to go to the beach or do a little bit of shopping. These reusable bags are cool looking and great for the environment. Next, I will recommend to always support local businesses. Why would you go to an international chain like McDonald's or KFC and get an $8 meal when you can go to a small local family-owned restaurant and get a $4 meal that is going to be significantly more authentic, less processed, and probably taste better? I like to always, whenever possible, support local businesses and avoid any of the international large chains, which there are plenty of, but the whole reason, at least that I travel or that we travel, is to experience new foods and places and try things that we haven't tried before. So why would I go to the same stores or the same restaurants that I can find in my home country or in other countries that I've already been to? So support the local economy. Big chain businesses don't put the money back into the local economy. It goes somewhere else or to some CEO's pocket, right? This is pretty well known. But if you support the small family businesses, this is putting your travel dollars straight back into the local community to hopefully build better infrastructure or help them at least survive as the inflation and other cost of living continue to rise. This is a good segue into my next point, which is to try to stay in lesser known areas. What I mean by this is avoiding the hyper-touristic and overcrowded most popular places, not only to give you as a traveler a better deal on accommodation, but to contribute as little as possible to the increasing problem of hyperinflation that exists in these overcrowded touristic areas. A lot of the times the locals are driven out by super increased rental or food cost prices because of the consistent waves of tourists willing to pay more. If you are willing to go and stay, I don't know, half an hour away from the main tourist area, this is close enough that you can easily still visit it when you want to, but you're going to get a significantly better deal on your own accommodation, and you're going to reduce the impact of inflation that those touristic areas are suffering from. With this in mind, I have found some super awesome hidden gems in South America or other areas that I have not really heard anybody talk about, but I found were super convenient and super enjoyable. There's some other videos on our channel talking about hidden gems in South America too, if you're interested in some of the places that we've been. Lastly, I briefly mentioned this a little bit earlier, but slow down. Every time that you travel, I mean, like literally take a plane or a bus or a boat, this definitely has an impact on cost and has an impact on the environment by using all of these means of transportation. We usually stay in each place for 1 to 2 to 3 months, depending on what the visa allows and what there is to see in the country. But slowing down and traveling slowly is something that I highly recommend for any full-time digital nomad, because it lets you immerse into the culture a lot more, gives you a real feel for what it's like to live in that place. It lets you get a routine and establish a nice day-to-day living cycle instead of having to constantly readjust what you're doing and learning the new prices and the area. Oh, and I almost forgot, an honorable mention, I guess you could say, is to make use of applications or sites like Woof and WorkAway. Not only for budget-friendly travelers, because this is a great way to save money if you're willing to do a few hours of work a day. They usually let you stay for free and sometimes give you food as well. This also is a good way to find hidden gems, as a lot of the farms or little hostels or family homes that need help are not exactly in the most touristic spots. So check out WorkAway if you haven't heard of that. I think the The yearly cost is like 70 USD. I can't remember. I'll put it here on the screen for you guys. But make use of these applications and these resources, not only to save money, but to just visit to visit lesser known places, and to get a true authentic experience with maybe some language exchange and a local that can help you see the area in a more real way. Okay, now are some things to be avoided by travelers of all kinds. A couple of them I already mentioned before is avoid mass-produced food, products, souvenir stores, and don't go to international chains. Hit up those local restaurants and small family-owned businesses. Next, be aware of any tours that you book. A lot of the locals, unfortunately, are willing to exploit their local environment to make a quick buck from tourist dollars. So just be aware of the tours that you go on and make sure that they are benefiting the local economy and that they're not exploiting any local environment to too harsh of a degree. This brings me to my ultimate point of something that you should never do under any circumstances, and this is go to animal exploitation parks. What I mean by this are elephant ride parks, places that let you take pictures with sedated exotic animals, or anything of this nature. Please do lots of research on any place that you're going to go to, especially involving exotic animals or elephants. There are so many places, particularly in Southeast Asia, like maybe Thailand is pretty notorious for this. Don't go to any place that lets you ride elephants. Don't take pictures with half-sedated tigers that are kept in horrible conditions. This is just... it makes you look bad, and it is absolutely exploitative of all of the animals that are involved. They have horrible lives. Please don't give them your dollars or your tourist money. Show them that they can't make any money from this business model, and that you will do your research to go to a reputable sanctuary where they treat their animals well, or rescue them from some of these other places. All right, okay. That last part was a bit of a rant because I absolutely hate to see how many people still visit these kinds of places. Overall, traveling is a super awesome experience, and I recommend everybody travel to gain perspective on the world around them and to see other cultures and new things. But make sure that you're going to keep these places awesome for any future generations. A lot of the most well-known places in the world are now becoming full of garbage, trash people, crime, and hyperinflated costs of living and rent, to where the locals can no longer afford to live there because of the over-tourism. Do not be part of the problem. Try to keep in mind some of the things that I talked about in this video. If you thought this was informational, if you did or did not like anything that I said in this video, or if you think I missed anything, please, I would love to hear your opinion in the comments down below. If you haven't already, give this a thumbs up, like the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Bye.